What are your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Did you beat your wife? Did you kick a pup? Well, find your crimes or make it up. Did you laugh at Hubbard? That's not nice, and now you'll have to pay your price. So what are your crimes, Mark? What have you done? Oh, it's too late now. Fair game's begun.
Hello and welcome back to Xenu TV, broadcasting throughout this entire sector of the galaxy and especially right here on our home planet of Tegeac. You heard me right. I said Tegeac. Where I grew up on the other side of the galaxy, we said Tegeac, but I heard from the interplanetary cramming officer, Dennis Ehrlich, today that it is Tegeac. So Tegeac it is. And I hope you're having a lovely day here on Tegeac. We are going to have fun tonight, I hope. I've been getting more requests for this video than any others that I have made throughout the years. Kelly, hello to you. Let's see who's here. We just have a couple folks so far. Oop. Let me put on the spectacles. The parasocial audience. Hail, Lord Xenu. Where is Princess Tori of Tegeac? I don't know. Tori was not at the Mad Picket, and so I didn't invite her to be on tonight. But hopefully she'll come by and say hello. Hank, 209er. Hello, good Dr. Wog. Thank you. Benjamin Wog is how I was known way back when. I started on alt-religion Scientology in 1998 using the pseudonym Ben Wog. And then later I gave myself a doctorate in honor of Hubbard and became Dr. Benjamin Wog. And I was that name until Scientology came to Picket my home. At that point, I thought, might as well be Mark Bunker. Lupita, hello to you. Nice to see you here. 49ers, once again, classic Xenu TV content. You're all for it? Well, that's great to hear. I'm having fun going back and breathing new life into all of these classic videos. Kelly. Lupita, just everyone saying hi. I'm popping these up with no reason. Moose on the Loose, though, is praising me to high heavens, and I accept that. You rock, Bunker. Thanks. I do. And I'm a national treasure. And that's one of the reasons. So I'm glad that you're coming by for this. This is one where I have, again, upscaled the video from standard definition to 4K. Deanna? Ross, here for Wise Beard Man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I need to keep these spectacles nearby. Somebody else. Let's see what we got. National treasure should be bunkered. Indeed. Is that going to be the new phrase for it? If you're a national treasure, just say that, oh, he's been bunkered. Robert, Sandy Beach. Yeah, Wise Beard Man is here. Yay, we need a voice of reason. Being we lost Mr. Rinder. Yeah, I tell you, it's a shame his passing, but even still today, I'm reading more articles about Mike that have just been published all throughout TGAC. And it's nice to see that outpouring of love and support for him. Hank 209er, I believe this is about the Mad Picket. I'm sure they had no idea that their behavior would have such a negative impact. Well, no true words have been written on a little post in a chat room. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Mary Damas told me years after both of us had left Clearwater and she had left Scientology. She said that when she was acting nutty in front of my camera like this As you'll see tonight, she had no idea this would be seen anywhere by anybody. But it has skyrocketed around the entire planet since 2000 and turned her into a major YouTube star. I always enjoyed seeing her. Made me happy. Garrett Kennedy, you need to run for mayor again. Clearwater needs you. Well, I didn't run for mayor. I ran. Hello, that's one of my cats jumping up here. I ran for city council and won the first time, came close the second time. And there is another election coming up in, next year, 2026. And it's possible. I've heard from folks that they'd like me to run again. There is some support in the community, and just have to see how things roll out next year. But I do plan to talk a little bit more about that this week. I'm going to try to do a Monday through Friday nightly stream at 10 p.m. usually. And one of the things that I have planned for this week is a look at my time on the city council and the 3-minute closing comments that I would reserve often for Scientology. So we're going to play one of those and talk a little bit generically about, what it's like being in City Hall, being part of the folks who are making decisions on the city and trying to guide the city in matters of Scientology. Monica, always the voice of reason. Well, yeah, thank you. R.I.P. Mike Rinder. Parasocial audience, bless Mike Rinder. All the best to his family. They appreciate that, I'm sure. Nail Tech Sherry. Hi, Mark. OT, did you like the Christmas Doctor Who? Boy, did I ever. Thank you for bringing this up. Now, I haven't talked a lot about Doctor Who here. I've talked about movies quite a bit. I'm a movie buff, but I've been a fan of Doctor Who since the 70s when it was playing on PBS here in the States. And it was playing on Saturday mornings on the PBS educational channel, which always amazed me. We had a wonderful Saturday morning lineup on the local station. We would have the Burns and Allen show, the Jack Benny show, and Jack Benny is my own personal comic god. And then we'd also have Doctor Who. So it was a few hours of classic TV, and I think Twilight Zone was in there as well. Can't remember what the other one was, but that was my first exposure to Doctor Who when it was Tom Baker, and he was always my favorite of the doctors. And I got to say, when David Tennant came along as the 10th Doctor, I thought he was incredible, maybe my favorite Doctor. But I have such joy whenever I see Tom Baker in the part. And he's still doing them in audio recordings. I don't know if you're, if you're even interested in this, but Big Finish has had a line of audio dramas with full casts for years now, and they brought back Tom Baker, and now they've brought back almost all of the original Doctors who are still alive. Let's see, they've got everybody, and now they've got some people who are doing the voices for the first 2 Doctors since they're no longer with us. Or 3 Doctors actually, but those are fun to listen to. Rhonda loves all these old videos, how crazy it all was. Yep. Back to the Doctor Who Christmas special. I don't know if you had a chance to see this, but it was one of the best in years. And it was written by Stephen Moffat, who wrote some of the best episodes of the new Doctor Who series, including Blink, where he introduced the Weeping Angels, and a couple of 2-parters that I absolutely loved. One in the first season where you've got a little boy wearing a gas mask saying, "Are you my mommy?" which was one of the spookiest things I had seen on Doctor Who at that point. And then a great 2-parter in a later season where River Song was introduced. So whenever he's writing an episode, I'm excited. So his Christmas episode this year was very funny and very touching. And I won't go into any more about it, but if you haven't seen it, it's on Disney Plus, and you can probably find it elsewhere in the world. Well worth watching. So let's get back. Nail Tech Sherry, Mark and I like real science fiction, and Doctor Who is part of that. Twilight Zone is incredible. No visual effects, just incredible stories and acting. Yep. It's amazing what Rod Serling could do. He wrote a ton of those. And there were a handful of writers who really cranked those things out. And it's amazing what they achieved back then. And he moved over, Rod Serling moved over to writing speculative science fiction with the Twilight Zone because he was getting so much pushback from advertisers when he tried to do a serious topic. There was one, I believe it was set during the Holocaust, and there was a talk of gas chambers, and the gas company that sponsored the show said, no. So he thought, if I put these stories into, a fantasy science fiction mode, then they can't whine as much. And he got a lot away with that. Got away with a lot from that. Nail Tech Sherry listens to Big Finish. There you go. Kenny's got a Scientology question. We're going to talk Scientology tonight? Okay, I'll get off who. Why is Scientology? Oh, it's seen double. Why is Scientology so very crazy? That's a good question. You'd think they'd be over it by now with all of the auditing that they do, but it's crazy because of L. Ron Hubbard. He created crazy, and people still buy into it. They're going, okay, this is it. That we've reshaped our thoughts, and we think for ourselves, and we think exactly what L. Ron Hubbard wanted us to think. So that's about the best explanation I have. Good SP. Hi, Mark Bunker. I brought my sticky gum for your camera lens. Thank you. In memory of Dennis Clark of the CCHR at the Mad Picket. That's his Mad Picket joke for those who are unaware. That's what he was referring to. And in fact, Dennis Clark mentions it in this video. Right before this, at another picket, Jeff Jacobson, the LMT librarian and one of the nicest guys on the planet, he was shooting video with his camera, and Dennis Clark came up and put a piece of gum on his camera. And Jeff called over the police. Or was that in the Mad Picket? It might have been in the Mad Picket as well. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was. I think he does that to Jeff, and then I see him later, and he says to me, "Sorry, I'm all out of gum." Jerk. And putting gum on a camera lens is the least offensive thing that he did. He was going around punching people like Mike Croats and intimidating people and coming to the LMT doors and just let me get rid of that. Coming to the doors and using racial slurs against Jesse Prince and his girlfriend at the time. Don't blink, and you dead. That's the Weeping Angels, and they were incredible in the first episode of Doctor Who. They're not as scary in later episodes because it's tough to do that. Oh my God, it's not a surprise anymore that if you close your eyes, they're on top of you. Unstoppable SP, hello to you. Glad to see that you will not be stopped. Well, says Fuzzy Pink Handcuffs. If it isn't Mark Bunker, Galactic Treasure. Thank you. It is. Here I am. Everybody, enjoy. Feast your eyes. I'll be here for the next couple hours at least. Nail tech like that. Hey, Fuzzy. Is there jocularity going on here? Ask FYT 54321. I try my best to always bring a little jocularity. Timothy. Hi, Mark. We met at Tori's SP party in 2013. Okay. I don't remember yesterday, but it's nice to see you again. Tori had wonderful parties that the house would just be filled with people. A lot of former members, a lot of folks who never were. We even had, I remember one time we had the guy who wrote the Tom Cruise biography. He was there. Can't think of his name right now, but he he wrote the best-selling biography of Princess Diana. That was what he was best known for. Okay. You should have told him to F off. Is that for Dennis Clark? I hope it's not for Timothy. Timothy, I'm not saying F off to you. Bridge 1872 says hi. Hi to you back. Everybody make her feel happy. Welcome here. Oh, I haven't read this. Robert Sandy Beach says, did you read Leah's tribute to Mr. Rinder? It is very touching. I saw her original posts on it, but I just saw something in passing today that she wrote something even lengthier, and I will go back and take a look at that after we're done here tonight. Thanks for the reminding. I've been working on videos all day long, and in fact, I looked up at 9:40 and went, "Ooh!" I said I'd be on at 10. So let's see. Anyone else here? Well, we got lots of folks. Andrew Morton. Yes, Fuzzy. Thank you. And FYT and Hank, all on top of it. Oh, I see. Okay, so that little dig was for Dennis Clark. Yeah, there you go. All right. So I did something extra special for the Mad Picket video. I've been upscaling everything from standard def to 4K. And I talked in a recent video about how I have been converting some musicals like Singing in the Rain into 4K at 60 frames per second. And that doubling of the frames when you're watching it makes things appear to be live TV. And I'm hoping you'll experience a little bit of that in this video tonight. It's hard to say how it's going to come across on YouTube, and it probably won't be even as vibrant when I'm playing it here through a live stream, because I'm sure it's not going out. I think my feed is 1080. So you'll be able to, as soon as this video is over, I'll be publishing both the full video itself without me yammering about it. And then I've got a special Yammer video also upgraded to 4K at 60 frames per second. I did years ago a director's commentary track for the Mad Picket. Since when I put it up, it was all just raw video with no explanations at all. So you'll have a choice. Anyone who comes to my channel will have a choice to watch this video, the raw video, or the raw video with commentary on it, all upgraded for you. What do we have here? Can't wait for new Bunkerama videos celebrating Scientology. Very good indicators with AI. Oh, as a matter of fact, I want to mention that. For those of you, I meant to make a post on this on YouTube to members of my channel. I think we can have a little challenge. Anyone who's a member can say, I'd like to see David Miscavage do this. And I will create a little video just for the members to enjoy. So I'll see if there's requests every day. I'll do one every day. Just let me know. Does anyone know if John Allender is still in? I don't. If anyone does, let us know, and we'll pass that along to Sheik Yabooty. Oh, Fuzzy Pink is here for the yammering. That's what I'm best at. Oh, and they know yammering is my special skill. It's a superpower. And Kelly's put up a link for the membership page if you'd like to become a member. And thank you for everyone who has, there's been a real growth spurt in the past week of memberships, and I appreciate that. And your support financially that way helps enormously. Got bills to pay. I've got more things that I want to achieve. I was trying to put together another cartoon right now, but I'm out of my monthly credits at the website. So I can't do very much right now until another month rolls around, and then I'll get some fresh. But if I got some money coming in, I can upgrade and buy some extra stuff and do things like that. And it's very frustrating, especially I was on ChatGPT the last couple of days saying, design me this cartoon character for this project I'm working on. And they'd produce a couple sample images. And I'd say, go do a model sheet. Let me see what that character looks like in all sorts of different poses. So in animations, they always have a model sheet to give to the animators. And so you do a couple of those, and then it says, you reached your limit. You can upgrade if you want. No, I don't, because I've got a better place that does all of my all the video you saw in the in the Scientology spoof ad. That's all done at another spot, not on ChatGPT. But I want to see what they're doing, and they came up with some nice ideas, and then said, sorry, no more pictures for you. Check back tomorrow. Then I get 2 more pictures. I'm like, lousy bums. I'm not giving them any extra money. How much content do you have that's unreleased, Mr. Bunker? And would you release in the future? Well, I've got lots of stuff. In fact, I'm going through all the old tapes and digging out new stuff. And I've got a new piece that no one saw that I stumbled on yesterday. And this was the first protest of Anonymous. And Tori and I got together with the Anonymous organizer. And after the protest, we were sitting in some back room somewhere. And we said, hey, why don't you do a video? And he was incredibly reluctant because, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And we're anonymous. We don't give our names. If I do that, then everyone's going to be jumping on me. And he didn't want to be attacked for that. I would say, well, just sit down and do it anyway. And, we don't have to release it. And so I didn't release it. And I saw it. Yesterday I found it and I watched it through, and in there he's going, oh yeah, okay, I don't care who knows now. They've come to my house, they've done this, they've done that, so sure. So I don't know why I stupidly thought, well, it's probably best that he not have this broadcast. So you'll see that and some other stuff that I find as we go along. Kelly, thank you for posting all the support for the channel. That's a huge help for me. And there are things that I have shot over the years that have never been seen like that. And so I'm digging through everything and coming up with all this stuff, all the stuff that I can, stuff that may have been forgotten by viewers. In fact, somebody is nice enough right now. They're going through all my old videos and they're putting together time codes for them. So people can go right to the part in the video that they want to watch. And some of these are long. So this is quite a task that this volunteer has offered to do, and you'll start seeing some of those. There are some already on my YouTube channel, but he's bringing up videos that I thought, well, geez, I forgot entirely that video existed. So then that's things that have been published. So that's what I'm trying to concentrate on right now, going through. Like, I haven't gone through all these tapes yet. I've got stacks, and I've got a whole drawer full of these smaller HD videotapes that have like an hour each on them. I've got the trip to London there. I've got all sorts of stuff, all the raids around LA. One thing I'm working on for later this week, I hope I'll have it ready for later this week, is footage of Andreas Helda Lund while he was here. I can improve that footage visually and fix the audio as well on that. So that's what I have been up to. Kelly says it's very nice of the anonymous person who is doing all of this, and I'll check to see if they don't mind having at least a nickname named on here, because I want to give them all the credit that they deserve. Krista, love all the LMT content and cannot wait to see the unseen content and hearing your commentary. Thank you. Well, keep coming back. I've got plenty of stuff here to see and talk about. So we've got we've got a nice group of people here tonight. And maybe we should get started on this. So this was the Mad Picket was absolutely insane. I don't know if Jeff Jacobson is going to pop in here tonight. I hope he does. I meant to call him to see if he wanted to be on camera for this, and the day got away from me. But he pops up occasionally in the chat on these streams. And oh, there he is. Hi. Hey, Jeff. How are you? Nice to see you. Jeff shot his own footage. As I mentioned, he had got the gum on the camera. And I think I've got a copy of his footage somewhere here as well. Timothy is asking this question. Do you remember David Sincere? Yeah, I do. I think he was the executive director of the LMT at one point. Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah, he was. I think I mentioned the story once before, and not to slam David, but he. I remember the first time that I met him when we were all coming together, and there was just like four of us that originally were the essential LMT crew. There was Bob and Stacy and Jesse and me. Was there anyone else from that core group? We did have other people who came by. Ingrid worked for us as a volunteer receptionist, and Bob Peterson kind of ran the office. And more people joined along the way, including Jeff, who we decided we've got so much material here that we need somebody who can keep track of this. So as I mentioned in a previous video, Jeff took the job so seriously. He was subscribing to librarian journals and learning all about how to be the best librarian possible. And he had everything indexed and with the Dewey Decimal System, and I could always count on him to find any documentary evidence that I needed for whatever videos I was making at the time. So David Sincere, when I met him, he sat me down and said, "Okay, well, how do you see your role here at the Lisa McPherson Trust?" And I said, "Well, I'm the media guy. I videotape and edit videos." And he said, well, that's all well and good, but what else can you do? What else can you bring to this? And inside of it, you jerk. But then David didn't last long because he was not terribly committed to the job. I mean, opening day, and I've talked about this before, and opening day, Bob had to buy a building in order to actually have a home for the LMT because he couldn't lease property from anyone. So Bob buys the building. Bob's having a little ceremony where he's handing out a little stuffed parrot to each of us who were there at the beginning, because the newspaper had published an editorial about Scientology being the 800-pound gorilla in downtown Clearwater, and we members of the LMT would be squawking parrots trying to annoy the gorilla. So we each got a little stuffed parrot, which I still have here. I had it on display in my office as a city council member, and it's not going anywhere. I love that parrot. So David couldn't make it for that event because I don't know if they were delivering washer and dryer that day or if cable was coming to hook him up. But at any rate, he just said, I can't be there. It seems you could rearrange a different date for a delivery or installation. And that was kind of the attitude I kind of got from him here. Ingrid, you're not my Ingrid. She had a W after her Ingrid. But it's nice to see you here. I haven't talked to Ingrid in a number of years, but I always liked her. And we had, I think I may have told this story before, but we had a treasurer, Duncan Pierce, who would come down occasionally and spend some time in Clearwater with us. And I used to just annoy getting him frustrated and see if I can get him to get a little irate and say something to me. And I did it mostly to entertain Ingrid, who would be smiling, I'd just be, well, what do you mean by that? No, I don't know. I don't think that's a name. And just after him all, until I said, oh, just that. And that was my form of entertainment. Duncan was a great guy. But I still love the memory of Ingrid being in the back seat as Duncan and I were in the front seat, and I was distracting him from driving. We didn't crash into a wall or anything like that. It wasn't that bad of a distraction. Anyway, we were Jeff, as you're watching this video, please add any comments that you can here. We'll put them on the screen. And if you'd like to come on at some point, I'd be happy to do a stream with you. So let's get down to mad business. This is David actually tried to recruit you prior to the formation of the LMT to come and work at the LMT. Is that what you're talking about? Jeff's going to stay in chat. Thank you, Jeff. I'll be watching for your comments. So this started one night when we were having dinner, and Bob said, hey, let's go do a picket. So we showed up over at the Fort Harrison, and there were just a small handful of us there. Me with the camera, Bob, Grady Ward, who was our security guy at the LMT. He would be scanning the office for bugs and came over to all of our homes and did that as well, and was the computer guy who knew all that kind of stuff. Who else is there? Ray Emmons. I believe Ray Emmons was there. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see in the video. Jerry Armstrong was there. And Jerry, you'll see in the video at one point where Scientology is trying so hard to provoke Bob into an incident, to lash out and get arrested. And Jerry was there kind of trying to keep Bob under control. Don't let him push your buttons. I don't know that I have much more to say about this, but the small group of us were just quietly doing a little picket, just a handful of people, when an army of Scientologists come storming down the street, led by Mary Damas. And this was the OT committee that was having a meeting down the street. And they came and they created this massive scene that got the police called out. And then the police department would blame us for it, for instigating all of this, simply because we were doing a peaceful protest, which I thought was incredibly unfair. We weren't the ones, trying to shove people and, get in their faces. We're just saying, hey, stop your crimes. Question, who sent Tori out to me the first time? That was in LA. I don't know. Tori would have to answer that. It's a good question. She had been a volunteer for that. I think when we talked about our original meeting video on L. Ron Hubbard Way, that she had kind of volunteered to go and talk to me, but who she volunteered to, we'll have to ask her. Clearwater police don't believe in the right to peaceably assembly. Well, they do. They do. It's just, it's a tough job being an officer, and having been on both sides of these things, where officers in Chicago arrested me, as you know, and stole the video from my tape. The police officers in Clearwater back in 2000 showed some real bias when they were working off duty for Scientology. But by and large, I don't envy the cops having to deal with all of these things, because they're not attorneys. They don't know the law, unfortunately. I mean, they're there to uphold it. But mistakes can be made. There are bad cops, and those should be weeded out. But I was a supporter of our police department, and I appreciated everything that they did, and I was a big defender of them when it came time to have contract negotiations. And also, I was on the pension committee, so I made sure they got a fair shake when they were coming to seek their pension for having some problems in the line of duty. Like one officer was traumatized after he had to kill somebody in self-defense, somebody who was, they arrived at a home and this person came charging at them. And, no one wants to go through all of that trauma, even though that's your job. You're going to have to face this. But it is a tough job. And when somebody goes off the rail and gives the department a bad, a black eye, because it kind of tires an entire department. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of problems with the police departments all across the country and probably all across the world. There are issues that always need to be worked on. But I'm not going to blame the cops for saying something like, you can't say that or stand there or whatever. Yes, we can. We'll sort it out. The armed fisherman and his group have been testing what is feasible in Clearwater with the police department. And a lot of times, let me get in trouble with this. If you don't know the armed fisherman, he's a guy here in Florida, lives in a different city, but he has a channel where what he does is he takes a fishing pole and a rifle and goes from town to town trying to get the police to stop him. And then he can say, oh, look at the police. They don't understand. It's legal for you to have a gun. And especially when you have a fishing pole, because in Florida, if you're fishing, and this is aimed at people who are like out in the woods at a little creek doing some fishing, and they want to have a gun with them in case a bear comes by. Okay, have a gun with you. But when you're on a crowded beach in Clearwater and you're walking around with an assault rifle or whatever you want to call it, and the police stop you and say, hey, what are you doing? I think that's a good thing for the police to do, because we're at a time when people are being shot left and right. So anyway, so I understand people are saying, well, yeah, but he's right. You can do it. You can legally, you can legally do it, but it's stupid to be scaring people like that. We need to hold the cops accountable. Of course you do. But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's done for content more than anything else. So enough of that. I'm opened up a can of worms that's now going to have all of these videos full of armed fishermen fans. But we're here tonight to watch this stunning video. So why don't we get to it? This is Bob and the handful of us parking right across the street from the side of the Fort Harrison Hotel. And again, there's no commentary on this. I'll be chatting along and making some text comments and sharing your thoughts as we watch this video. So let me put it on the stage here. And just
nothing like stealth pickets.
That's right.
They know we're here, though. Don't worry.
And this is Grady Ward. Grady is who I was talking about. Not Grady, I'm sorry. That is Duncan Pierce there. I better put my glasses on. Could be either from this angle. I know that's Bob, who is also there with us tonight. Ray Emmons. That might have been Ray Emmons. This was something that happened periodically. We're not always out there on the street. Can you hear me over all the noise from the video? There's some, all right, just barely. You see, we got good reaction from the folks driving by. You notice the fans here, they all have their windows blacked out. And we've got some of our old friends popping up here.
Spencer, buddy. How are you, buddy?
Spencer, we met
Here's Spencer.
in the summer of '99.
I haven't seen him in a long time. You know, Spencer, there's been a lot of speculation you were sent out to the RPF. Is that true?
Spencer and Crop. Not, this isn't Crop, but he's going to be popping out in the next one. And there's Duncan. Yeah, that was Duncan Pierce who just walked by us. Yeah, it was the OT committee that came rushing down the street. So Spencer and Croc talked incessantly. They were saying horrible things to Bob.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Always fun to get home.
All right.
By the time I put the video up of our first encounters with Spencer and Croc, they got in so much trouble because they didn't realize all the nasty things they were saying was going on onto the internet. So they were not allowed to talk to us ever again. So, the little piece before the storm here. I always enjoyed it when one of their security guys would come at me with his camera and I start talking about OT3. And this one guy would put his finger in his ear and run away. That's security for you.
Spencer, where do you go with the RPF?
Good question, my friend.
Just think there are billions more like us.
Rock, Mr. Deller. Bob, it's Mr. Deller.
Yeah, right. Philip. I feel like I know him. I just want to see Mr. Howard. That's all I want to see. I think Mr. Howard could do acting.
Who are these folks?
Oh, this is the normal. See, Mark, why is it he's backing up into you, Mark? Do you think there's a reason he's backing up into you, Mark?
I was trying to block the camera. For some reason, he doesn't want me to take pictures of Spencer Croc.
Well, Croc is a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah.
You are a handsome guy.
I don't know if there's a way to
But only Spencer went to the RPF.
mix the sound properly here. So I'll try to talk when it's a little bit quiet.
We have a lot of attention tonight, folks. Boy, there are a lot of these guys on here. Four security guys.
What's that?
Don't you guys get the message?
I do still occasionally see.
Because you guys are losing.
Oh, here's Steve.
That's why you're running inside. That's why you're running inside.
Yeah, you know why?
Oh, that's very
Whoops, watch those guys.
Herbert?
You get your little cult in trouble.
Who's going to sacrifice himself to the
You guys are sick.
We may be sick, but we're winning. We may be sick, but we're winning.
You've already lost.
Already lost, though. Okay, I see.
Sense frustration.
Oh look, we got a whole team coming here. Look, we got a whole team.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys coming. You might just want to leave.
Oh, okay. Got the whole team of losers coming, Mark.
Your timing is so
I wonder where they drag these people
There's
out of.
hundreds of people coming. Your timing is
can't
so
wait. I
wrong.
can't wait.
It is so wrong. You can't get anything right, can you guys? You just can't get anything right. You're always at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's
Isn't that true?
obvious.
Isn't that true?
Doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Your timing is so wrong. Wait till you see us. You guys can't win. You can't win. Just wait till you see us. We win.
All right, you know what? This may be a spontaneous picket. This may be a spontaneous.
Oh,
You guys are losers! That was sad and pathetic. You guys got nothing. Nothing. You need to keep moving along. Come on. Come on, Marco.
Buddy, otherwise
Move it.
Go back to your Nazi friends.
Move along.
You should go back to your Nazi friends.
Move along. Cult member.
Chop, chop. Chop, chop.
Taking over.
Come on, Mark.
I'm not.
Are you allowed to talk yet? Your leaders let you talk? You gonna get out of that cult? Mark?
back to the boat, you Nazi cult.
I'm going to try to turn down the volume just a little bit, and forgive me for stopping this here. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know if that's any better or not.
You guys have become Nazis, have you? We don't like Nazis in America. We don't like Nazis in America. Read my lips. We don't like Nazis in America. We don't like Nazis.
Let them do it to you.
Go home to Germany with Ursula. That's where Nazis belong, not in America.
Bigots, go home! Bigots, go home! Protect you! You need this little community to protect you! Hold back your temper! See, hold back your temper!
I think they want to talk to you at Nigeria.
This peon, hold your temper!
Back to the boat.
Bigots, go home!
And this is one of those moments where Jerry Armstrong is trying very hard to keep Bob from having any type of incident there. And Mary was in his face pretty much the entire time. Again, I'm just trying to adjust the volume here. And I'm not sure if this is working or not, but let's try it. Just a little softer.
Shop is. We have your picture on the internet. It's funny. Yeah, big deal. Funny in hell. Well, if you were an OP, it wouldn't happen. If you were OP, just take it. If you were an OP. Hey, you're in the wrong country.
Hello. 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 My name's Steve.
I know, Steve. You stopped by the other day.
I know. You got my name on the internet yet?
Not yet.
You want to get my picture on the internet? Here.
Can't commit battery against the camera.
Back to the boats.
Come on, the policeman just said.
Jeff, I have not seen any of Jeff's videos in Vancouver and Seattle, but it is not uncommon for one person to get to clear the streets of the Scientologists. And I used to watch them close blinds and even lock a door as I approached one of their buildings.
Go join your Nazi friends. Go join your Nazi friends. Bigots, go home.
Go, bigot.
You guys are doing us the biggest favor ever. You guys
It's illegal to drive first. Go home and take Sugar Daddy with you. Take us.
Come on, man, you tough man. Let's go.
Officer.
The batterer.
This man is stopping in the sidewalk here. Come on, please.
Come on, man, you're a big tough man. You're punching in the stomach tonight, Dennis.
Are you talking about Jerry Armstrong? Jerry spells his name with a G, by the way. He left. Jeff, maybe you probably know exactly when Jerry left, or a better guess than I have. Was it in the 80s? or early 90s. Let me know. Oh.
Hey, Picket, you should go home.
Oh, what happened? What happened right there? Dennis Clark hit my camera. And I believe I was asking him if he had. I forget what I was asking him. At one point, though, I do ask if he's. No, I ask who he's going to punch in the stomach tonight, and that's I think when he slapped my camera and actually turned it off by doing that. And there's a little break as I turn it back on. Thanks, Jeff. I think that's right.
Back to the boats.
Sorry, I'm out of gum.
There you go. There's the gum comment.
You're a liar. I don't think I'm a liar. You don't know anything. You're a fool.
Go back with your Nazi friends.
Gonna kill us with video cameras.
Thanks for saving us.
Hey!
The answer to that is I don't think there was any footage of anyone protesting while Hubbard was still on this earth, although people were protesting. It's just that, we didn't have cameras everywhere back in the 50s and 60s. And you just saw Bub. Bub was a guy who actually gets angry and pushes Bob out into the street, and the other Scientologists pull him aside. And I actually catch one of them say to him after that on camera, "Let them come to you," because that was the plan. That was their plan the entire time. Provoke Bob, get him to lash out some way, and then call the police and have him arrested, because they managed to do that in Boston. And the video from that, it's horrible quality, but the video that Bob shot of that, the Boston Scientologist, whose name escapes me right now, he had his hands in his pocket and he was like bumping into Bob and screaming at it into his face, trying so hard to provoke something. And eventually they did, and Bob was arrested.
What's the problem?
Will you please stop touching me? You'll need that when they build a gas chamber, so we can take some really nice pictures.
Doctor, how's the herbal business?
Guys, follow me. Hey, Brady.
Hey!
Go, follow me!
Minton's very much, guys. Let's go. Minton's calling you. Let's go. Let's go. Your leader's calling you. Don't make any decisions by yourself.
One of these guys was trying to turn your camera off. You sure it's still on?
Yeah, you're going down, Nick.
Nazi, go home!
Come on, you big tough man.
Oh gosh darn it. That is the delightful Dennis Clark.
If you could.
Guys was trying to turn your camera off.
There we go. So the fellow who was screaming into my camera, "Nazi, go home," which I think you'll have a chance to see again now, since I actually accidentally lost place in here. That's Dr. Ian Shillington, who, I don't know what he was a doctor of, but he was pushing a lot of, quack stuff. And I think he was part of, or at least did little seminars at the local grocery store, the I forget the name of it. I'm forgetting everything tonight. But there's one Whole Foods type of local store here that there are Scientologists who work at it, I believe, and then there's a lot of Scientologists who shop there. It's quite a hangout.
You sure it's still on?
Yeah, you're going down, Nick.
Nazi, go home!
Ian, he was a delight. I've got footage of him confronting all of us in a quieter time,
Hands up, the sidewalk's gotta move.
saying horrible things.
Such a tough guy.
Me, tough man.
Go home. You pickers gotta move. You guys gotta get moving.
Hey, you. Let him do that. No, sir, I won't, but I just can't.
This is our church. You need to move. This is our town. Get out of our town.
I'm talking to him.
Get out of our
Don't
town.
shove me.
No, you need to move, man.
Get out of our town.
You gotta move.
This guy's been attacking our church. He's been funding attacks on our church internationally, and he's going down.
Hey, sugar daddies, take him out of here. Take him back to Germany.
We have a right to be here. This is our church. This is our church.
Go back to your mental institution.
This guy's a mental patient. He's assaulted members of our church. He's threatened to kill me.
He's got a criminal record. He's got a criminal
He
record.
threatened to kill me the other day in front of police officers right here.
Police are here now. Why don't we separate?
Separate what? Look at this.
Personally, oh, God bless it. Personally, I never wanted to leave. I always enjoyed these insane exchanges. And Dennis Clark, the head of the CCHR at the time, was the last person you would really want to put in charge of any public-facing office. He actually was proud to have this story published. I think it was Barefaced Messiah. Yeah, Russell Miller's Barefaced Messiah. He tracked down Russell Miller's office and came there to confront him over the book. And when the author wasn't there, he turned to the receptionist and said, "You'll do," and punched him in the face. This is the face of the CCHR.
This is our church. You need to move. This is our town. Get out of our town.
I'm talking to him.
Get out of our
Don't
town.
shove me.
No, you need to move, man.
Get out of our town.
You gotta move.
This is really nasty.
This guy's been attacking our church. He's been funding attacks on our church internationally, and he's going down.
Hey, sugar daddies, take him out of here. Take him back to Germany.
We have a right to be here. This is our church. This is our church.
Go back to your mental institution.
This guy's a mental patient. He's assaulted members of our church. He's threatened to kill me.
He's got a criminal record. He's got a criminal
He
record.
threatened to kill me the other day in front of police officers right here.
Police are here now. Why don't we separate?
Separate what? Look at this. Separate what?
Let's just get on one side. At least separate.
One side. This is our church.
Just for now, for peaceful things, we need to get you guys
This
separate.
guy
Okay?
threatened to kill me the other day in front of police right
We
here.
just need to separate you right now, so we can take care of this, okay?
Here I
Because it's
am.
not helping everybody scream. We need to separate you guys, okay?
Walk those
So
25
let's
pounds.
just, if you could, help me out. Listen.
He's not going to come over.
Listen, if you could help me out, get your people over on that side.
We've taken him. We've taken him. It's over.
I understand.
Okay. It's over. And this guy takes his people over. No, they're not my people.
We're going to separate.
They're not my people. I'm by myself. I'm by myself. They're all by
But if we could, just move it along out.
It's our church. It's a sick church. I don't think so. It's our church.
You do exactly
Yes, Mary.
what they say all the time. How much longer are you going to do that?
Sorry, what were you saying?
How much longer are you going to do exactly as they tell you? Can you think for yourself?
Yes,
Can
what
you
program are you running?
Can you talk for yourself?
Are you
Mark?
talking for you or are those your BTs talking?
Hey, Mark, you're moving in a circle, Mark. Can you stand still?
We're crossing the street.
Thank you, Jeff.
Can you talk for yourself? Your leader's called you. What are you going to do? Every move he makes, you follow? You a follower?
Now, the police actually pulled Dennis Clark off to the side, and they forced him to
Come on,
leave.
Mark. Your leader's calling you. Your leader's calling you. Listen, your leader is calling you. You need to go.
You need help getting off those drugs you're on, pal.
Your senior is back.
Go back to daddy.
Hey, is he gonna pay you if you're on the wrong side of the street? Because he's
Minta.
over there.
When are you going to get extradited to Nigeria?
That was Minton that busted you
When
there.
are you going to get back to Nigeria?
Let's keep this a peaceful demonstration. Where's my supervisor?
Yeah, they pull those things all the time, trying to throw things back at you.
Freedom for good people, not for this people.
Now, that last woman who walked by, she was a German woman. There's a few other German Scientologists in the crowd here, because this was at the same time that Ursula Caberta came to Clearwater. So they really got worked up about Ursula being there. Ursula was in charge of the watchdog group that, kind of oversaw Scientology's activities in Germany back then. And she was enemy number one. And we invited her to come and visit Clearwater for the first time. And these are a lot of the same people in this video were waiting for her at the airport. And when she arrived, came in off the plane into the terminal, including Dr. Ian Shillington. They were all there to say, "Nazi criminal, go back to Germany," and just hound her all the way out of the airport. And the police there were incredibly helpful in getting us out safely. So, back, more of this fun. And this woman, in the, well, she's gone now. But Joanie Seagull was the woman who was at the front.
Stacy or just Bob?
Tone 39.5.
This is Joanie Seagull's husband.
TR 1.1.
You doing Bob or
TR
just
1.1.
Hey, listen.
TR 1.1.
Get a life. Is this all you got?
Wait.
You guys
Don't forget to think about your eternity, okay?
Yeah, well, I know at least he's fine.
Hey, think about your eternity.
He is?
Watch this on tape. Think about it.
Well, you
He's a real big thing here, and you guys are little things.
he doesn't like talking to degrade.
Oh, God bless it.
Bob.
Tone 39.5.
Okay, I want to stop here. So Joanie Seagull and Jeff, help me out. What's her husband's name? It's escaping me right now, but Joanie was the essentially personal assistant to one of the Operation Snow White folks who went to prison. Jeff doesn't know his first name. Well, I know it, but it's slipping my mind right now. I would see them from time to time. Joanie, I would run into more often, and I'll point her out again when she walks by. But I forget if it was Henning Helt or one of the other dudes that she was the man. Everything's escaping me right now. There is a name for the personal assistant. That's a Scientology's type of name, but that's essentially what she was. And she is a big fixture in the Clearwater Scientology community, always volunteering for things and being singing at the Winter Wonderlands. And I actually shared a stage with her when I was in office at one of the Veterans Day affairs at the park. We had a stage set up, and I was up there on the stage, and she sang the national anthem from the stage. And she's a decent singer. Yes, thank you. No, not Hubbard communicator, but it is something along the lines of personal communicator. Okay, let's see if I can get back to this without screwing things up again.
You doing Stacy too? Or
TR
just Bob?
1.1.
You doing Bob or
TR
just Stacy?
1.1.
Hey, listen.
Here come the sex crimes
Is this
things.
all you got? You guys
Don't forget to think about your eternity, okay?
Yeah, well, I know at least he's fine.
Hey, think about your eternity.
He is?
Watch this on tape. Think about it.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking. I'm still thinking all these years later.
Talking to degraded people like you.
He's a
You know,
dictator.
he knows that you have You've taken your eternity and you've crushed it down to nothing. And when you find that out,
there you go. See, now you're being positive. That's positive.
That's positive for you. It's the most positive thing
Right,
you've
well,
heard
see?
in a long time.
Well, no, but you're not invalidating now. That's good. I appreciate that.
And
You're
that's Grady
invalidating
Ward
yourself.
he's
I don't
talking
have
to.
do you. Right. How you doing?
Say again, sir?
Where do you want me to go? Come on,
No, this guy.
Trying to get me to hit him.
Hey, don't forget to think about your eternity,
Nazi call,
okay?
go home. Go home.
Don't forget to think about your eternity.
You're gonna end up in jail, man.
You're just not that tough, man.
He's gonna end up dead.
You're not tough like Dr. Ian Shillington.
Hey, bud. Hey, think about your eternity. Are you listening to me?
The guy had that one message. Think about your eternity.
You didn't see the other part of it?
Oh. Well, he's off camera right now, but I'll point him out again later. But we did just see.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, God bless
Can you
it.
think for yourself?
Oh, this is
How long are you going to
annoying.
do exactly as they tell you?
There he is.
About your
See if I
eternity.
can back up.
You're just not that tough, man.
He's gonna end up dead.
Careful, careful. Don't bump the guy. Hey, bud.
Think about your eternity.
Think about your eternity. Are you listening to me?
You didn't see the other part of it?
Right here. So this is my dear friend Paris Morphopoulos. And this is, I think this is the night when he actually came up to me at the end of this picket and said, what are you having sex with barnyard animals? Little boys? What is it? That classic piece of footage that has haunted him ever since. And Paris and I became co-workers on the Downtown Development Board. One of the first things I did when I was elected to the city council is say, okay, I'd like to fill one of the seats on the Downtown Development Board, which got the Scientologists worked up to no end. I'll play the video of that someday. But it was so much fun having all of them line up to call me a Nazi in this council chambers. And then the council voted me, yeah, he can sit on it. And that kind of brought down the entire Downtown Development Board by the end of my term. Here we go. Okay. This type of naturopathic doctor, I think it's quackery. That's just me. Four years for a degree in quackery.
We need to talk about this. Come over here.
Oh, DJ.
Don't forget your eternity.
Oh, poor Jerry.
Mr. Min, do you feel responsible for thousands of dead people?
Come on, you little
Jerry, go.
Oh, that German fella that just started talking to Bob, Hans Bashor. He was a journalist, I believe, or at least he said he was, in Germany. And he and I had a few exchanges on the street. He actually came into the LMT, into my office one day to talk to me. And he was recording the conversation. I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say on radio. So I didn't worry about it too much. But Jesse came in, saw that was happening, and kicked him out appropriately. And said, Mark, they can edit the tape. So, oh, you're right. That was dopey of me.
I'm the guy you're gonna kill him. I'm the guy you're gonna
That's me singing there. I joined in.
You're a sissy. Fuck you. You're a sissy. Finish.
Yep.
Go that way.
Timeout.
Okay.
So this was the end of the night for Dennis Clark. Love Maddie is asking, do you think that Scientology could muster up to 10,000 followers now to do what they did in Portland many years ago? I think Lara FM was a child when she came up there with her parents. I actually have a couple hours worth of TV news reports from that Portland protest. And I don't know if they could get as many people, but I'm sure they would be happy to try. 10,000 is probably half of every Scientologist still on the planet. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to wrangle them all. It's hard enough, it seems, to fill the Shrine Auditorium for them. But definitely there was a fervor for Scientologists to get up to Portland to be part of that protest. And I don't know that I've ever put the video online before of all the newscasts. I can't really improve the quality of it very much, but because it's, old off of TV stuff. But it is interesting, and I will try to post that at some point on the channel. It is interesting to see, because you got Travolta there and everybody, and all these day after day of newscasts about the occupation there. And let me start this up again.
Mark.
welcome here.
Nope.
Mr. Bloodsucker.
No, the cops aren't really controlling the situation. And this is one of the reasons why Judge Pennick said that there have to be some ground rules. And that's when the injunction was born. As he was shown videos of madness like this. And then, you know, we get blamed for it. So we had to stay 10 feet away from Scientologists then after the injunction, and they had to stay 20 feet away from us, I believe. But since each individual Scientologist was not served, they never had to play by those rules. The 13 of us working with Bob, it was easy enough for a process server to slap some paper on us and say, okay, you're served. And then we were supposed to follow the injunction. But the, hundreds of Scientologists you see parading around, creating the real disturbance, they can do what they want.
You know why you're here. Go home!
Mark, go!
Let's go home! 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 Nigeria! 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 Criminal site! Criminal site!
Which officer? That's the guy.
Now, I don't know if this was before or after the alternative Charlemagne Award. There were two of them. Bob won the first one in 2000, and then he awarded the second one in 2001. Dr. Norbert Bloom won the second one. And the reason they're shouting about Nigeria now is because of the one probably most successful campaign that Scientology did to smear Bob's name. And I have video of him talking about this too. They had gotten let me just pull myself up here for a bit. They had convinced a journalist in Nigeria to write a news story about Bob having ripped off the Nigerian government for like billions of dollars, which is not the truth at all. But this is a story that got big coverage in Nigeria and caused a lot of trouble for Bob. And in fact, Bob actually went to it was discovered that the person who was, dealing with this journalist to plant this story was a Scientologist hired PI. And Jeff will remember his name because I don't at this moment. And I can count on Jeff for any bit of information. This guy planted this story with the Nigerian journalist, and then Bob tracked down the journalist and set him straight. And Bob agreed. He challenged the soccer star that Scientology used as the front person for this report called the Fashanu Report. The soccer player's name was John Fashanu, beloved in Nigeria. And he put out this report that Bob had, plundered the nation out of billions. And everyone in Nigeria was furious about Bob. And Bob said, "You know what? I'm just going to have a debate up in D.C. at one of the nation's top African American educational colleges." And so the auditorium, when we showed up for that, was just packed with Nigerian students, all upset. John Fashion, who said he would be there, but he wasn't. So it was just Bob telling his side of the story. And Bob came with Xerox copies of all the documents about what really happened and handed them out to everybody in the audience and took all the questions that they had for him. Bob had, Maguski's here. Oh, hi, Maguski. So Bob and his partner, his business partner, set up this shell company for the Nigerian government, because the Nigerian government was just, buried under debt. And so they made a deal with the government. Okay, we'll buy up your debt, and we will take, like, I think it was a 2% cut for each transaction, and then they'd sell the debt back to Nigeria at a greatly discounted price. So they saved the government a ton of money in what may have been. I asked, "Is this illegal?" Well, no, it just was not officially legal. This was something that apparently people hadn't thought about doing before. But Bob was not in trouble for ever doing any of that. But it was spun by Scientology into this really nefarious thing. And ultimately, that was one of the tools that they used to freeze Bob's money at the end there, and caused him to finally settle. He cried uncle. Everyone's thrilled. Tori is here. Hail Princess Tori of TGAC West. And Tori says, hey, and 49ers for life, thrilled to have her here as well. We all are. Everybody loves Magoo. So let us go back to watching a little more of the video here.
The truth is going to kill you.
Just a pussy. Just a pussy, man. Jesus saves. Hallelujah. Jesus saves. Keep it on him, though.
So how many people died because of you in Nigeria? How's that?
You fucking a lot of
You are not sucker. Money sucker.
Think about it.
Point where you can actually understand what's going on here. Keep on walking. Just go. Did they hire you for the unemployment?
How's it going, Brady?
I think it's going great. They're trying the bull baiting, with the. Actually, a couple have been positive, and I want to stress that point that some have not been just, derogatory. See, most are like that, but there's a couple guys, and I have to credit them. They're saying things like, "Think about your eternity," and that's actually a positive, not a negative thing. And I appreciate when Scientologists are not negative, because then we're respecting everybody's rights, and there's no fighting, and then we can all express our First Amendment peacefully. And I think it's very invigorating here. It's very invigorating.
Yeah, Jeff, I think you're doing a little interview with Duncan in the background there about the fact that they took his assign. And the police, you report that to the police, they go, huh? If it didn't. If it hit the ground, it's fair game for them to take it. Maguski is asking what year this was. 2000, July of 2000, I believe. And we did see There was one person I saw in passing, and I don't really want to try to back it up. But it was a person that was involved with the memorial brick sales. And this footage went a long way to proving that Scientology had a heavy hand, because he was just one of several people on the committee that was deciding who would be able to buy a memorial brick for that alleyway in Clearwater, where Jeff had purchased a brick on Lisa McPherson's behalf. I'll try to pause it if I see him again.
Let me ask you a question. You guys are here to help me lead. Is that your point?
So Maguski, I think this was shot July 6th of 2000. So you weren't here quite yet. It was oh, this is the fella. This is the back of him right now. This is the guy involved in the brick sales.
Just exercising your civil rights, eh?
How's it going, Duncan?
Oh, now that I have a sign again, it's going much better.
It's going to be bad, man. Really bad. I can assure you that. You should really think about that.
Keep going.
Oh, Terry, you embezzle money, billions from the country. You don't care about the people in the country? Don't they deserve to eat? Who's going to do business with you?
Are you fucking KKK?
All your friends are gone. You embezzled money. You embezzled money. You embezzled money.
That's where you're going to end up.
Hasn't got me worked up.
How does it feel to be in Stacy's pants? How does it feel to be in Stacy's pants?
Well, unfortunately, the courts don't feel the same way.
How much does Vincent pay you?
Billions of Nigerians. Stole money from billions.
Vincent pay you?
And no one in this world will do anything.
Tough guy.
And when your money runs out, you'll get nothing. And when your money runs out, none of the women will sleep. No one will do business with you.
Jerk off on your face.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, but you didn't even know these chickens. You never even met her. What are you talking about? How can you say that?
From all those Nigerians.
You never even knew her, Bobby. Nigerian government. You never knew these Nigerians.
You're like a laughing stock.
It's dangerous. How can you spend so much money on somebody you never even knew?
You at the city hall.
Go back to the KKK, man.
Mr. Sight Case himself.
Go back to your Nazi friends, Mitten.
Mr. Tough Guy.
Hey, go back to your Nazi friends, Mitten.
Pick on women.
Hey, Bobby,
Come on, Bobby.
Nigerians are looking for
You
you.
won't be able to buy them, man.
What women
Hope they find you, Bobby.
No balls, man.
All those guys take Minton's stock money.
Do I know Scientology's reaction? Not really.
Hey, Bob, get a job. Hey, are you belong
I got to believe that Scientology wasn't happy with how they're represented, but maybe they think, oh, these people really struck an effective blow. I don't know. Bob just did say something really naughty. Yes. And I didn't bleep it. I don't bleep. Oh.
This is it.
Minton kids, thousands of people.
Get a job. Hey, Bob, get a job. Hey, Bob, get a job. Hey, Bob, get a job. Please move, okay?
You are responsible.
Go back to the institution.
Move along.
Wasn't it your son that had psych problems?
Go back to the institution. What's that?
Deep down, Mary's a nice person. I'm sure of it.
My God, in stereo. It's Bobby.
Son recovered from psych problems.
Mark! Mark, get this woman all the time. Is she getting to you, Bobby? Is she getting to you? I want you on video. Back into your hole. He wants you on video so he can masturbate.
You guys film each other.
Okay, Bob, back to the bar.
Hey, Bob.
I'm right, Mr. Minton, right? You know I'm telling the truth. Now tell your puppets what.
Very hard to keep any one person on camera when folks are moving around like that. Crowd's been down quite a bit. I was contacted on Facebook once by her ex, and I never went digging for any information. My feeling is if your relationship ends, you still respect the person that you were once in love with. So I didn't really want to hear any dirt.
Well, hi. How you doing, folks? Pleased to meet you. Don't touch my flag.
Now, if you have dirt on Dr. Ian Shillington, give it to me.
She's just a little girl and she's picking on you, Bob. You should be able to handle that.
So we're down to some hardcore people.
On how much people hate your boss and what a horrible, awful person he is. You think you've learned something? Yeah, that's what.
You know, that's the Scientology mindset. I don't think most people watching this video would go, wow, that Bob Minton, we hate him. No, you think, oh, these Scientologists are nuts. Look at this. What a way to behave.
Waffle, waffle.
That's what freaks psych criminals do. They love this stuff,
We'll have the merry-go-round, the Mary Damas-go-round, as I called it.
Oh, hi, Mark. You upset?
From this smile,
Oh.
you can tell I'm upset.
Yeah.
I saw your face when you weren't being social.
Sidewalk. You heard the cops.
Minton, go home. Your mama's calling you. It's time to go home.
Go home.
Your mama's calling you. It's time to go home.
Yo mama.
Where's your
Yo
mama?
mama. Yo mama.
Your mother proud of you, man? What did you do to your mother? What did you do to your mother? What crimes do you have on
His
your
mother institutionalized him.
Yeah?
That's right.
Very proud of me.
His mother institutionalized him.
What'd you do?
My mother is very proud.
Your mother abandoned you? Your mother abandoned you?
His mother institutionalized him. And that was after she dropped him on his head. Hey Bob, your circle's getting a little shorter.
You know, I think I need to stand in front of the police, you know,
Oh,
giving
yeah.
you guys.
You need the protection, don't you, buddy?
I'm afraid of you guys.
Yeah.
Cognition.
I'm pretty sure that's almost 100% Scientologists.
Hey, what else can you say?
Hey, Jeff.
So tell me about Stacy,
So
huh?
what is, no, I'm interested in Caberta.
Oh, you want Caberta? Oh.
Hey, Mr. Shillington, if you'd let me walk, that'd be really nice.
Hey, I'll let you walk. I'm not stopping you from walking just because you forgot how.
Why is she so busy? You know, looks like she's scared like a
Oh, don't look at your watch, Bob. We want you to stay around longer. We can't stay around. We
Oh,
want you to
please,
stay around
I love it. Hey, let's do it again. Why are you doing this? At age, he can't earn a job. No, I want to hear it.
Someone should get on this guy's case. He's feeling left out.
Now, oops. I will point out that the police actually did take away Dennis Clark. They, after Dennis was screaming and you know, just really angry, they pulled him aside, stood him against the wall, said, "You're out of here." And so they did something. Did normal Clearwater residents walk through this? I don't think so. It's possible, but there aren't that many non-Scientologists who ever walk past the Fort Harrison Hotel. There's not a lot of activity around there that you would be walking past them to begin with, but also I can't imagine it's a big draw to want to be there, unless of course you have a protest sign.
Are you going to make an honest woman out of Stacy?
I want them to stop. I want them to stop.
Bobby, are you going to make an honest woman out of Stacy? Come on. At least have the guts to marry the girl.
Hey, Bob, does Nazi intelligence pay you enough? Huh?
Come on, Bob.
Get enough money from the Gestapo?
Bob, did you have to pay for the abortion? Huh? Did you have to pay for the abortion, Bob?
Scientology is the abortion that I'm working on paying for.
When are you going to make an honest woman out of Stacy? When are you going to marry?
You're just trying to speed up and slow down so I can't go in front of you.
We're interested parties.
Even your own loyal family doesn't love you anymore? I mean, what's the deal?
2 years ago, we're out here and you guys were asking the same question.
What's the deal?
How long are you going to hold on to it,
Really
Bob?
worth it, huh? Is it really worth the deal?
If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here, buddy.
What's the deal, man? Your wife doesn't love you anymore? She doesn't believe in
Maybe
it?
both.
Hey, Bob, when did you first get the idea to go after Scientology? When did it first happen?
1982.
Yeah? And were you in the institution then? Okay. So how did this come
I
about,
was with
Bob?
Michael Flynn.
How did this come about?
1982, Boston, Michael Flynn.
Where'd you get the idea? Hey, Jenny, aren't you kind of
1982,
worried
Boston,
about
Michael
that idea?
Flynn.
Where'd you get that idea? Are you ready to talk to me?
It's very difficult. I've never found a Scientologist
Hi, Maguski. I'm not sure why Stacy wasn't there with us that night.
Scientology is a jail.
There are times when she was helping people who were leaving Scientology.
Nigerian criminal.
Do you feel responsible for?
Nigerian criminal bomb.
You afraid of him?
Give him another kiss.
So Stacy wasn't at all the protests. I know in one of the protests we did on the last day of our 3-day trip to Clearwater in '99, Stacy was not on camera for much of that video, and it's because she got a call and walked across the street from the Fort Harrison and was talking to Jesse, who was just helping somebody leave Scientology as the protest was going on. So she was probably doing something along those lines on this night as well. That's true. Could be. Could be saving Magoo at this very moment.
That's it. Get the mask. Get the whole mask. You know, that's good. That's good.
Hey Jerry, come on. Yeah, I want to talk to you. So, you're gonna follow him to jail? What are you gonna do with him? What's in jail? Who are you gonna follow? Your own self? You're gonna follow that criminal? For me, Jerry. Mark? I mean, have you thought about your own life?
You really realize you've been lied to by the church.
Well, if that's true, do you really think that I should be killed and burned because of that?
No, I don't believe that any
Well,
of us
then
at
why
the
have you
trust
brought the
are
Nazi here?
advocating that
Why have you
be
brought the
burned.
Nazi here?
Well, I believe that Ursula Caberta, who you must be referring to, she's not a Nazi. She doesn't believe anyone should be killed or burned.
Well, how far are you willing to take this?
But you
How
won't,
far are you willing to take
you
this?
won't know that because you won't really talk.
How far are you willing to take this?
You won't really communicate.
All right. Well, here's Joanie Seagull with the black top coming up and some colorful print skirt.
How far are you willing to take it?
There she is. As I said, she's a fixture here and has been for decades, ever since Scientology snuck in the town in '75. I think she was probably right there at that point. And again, finds herself or volunteers to be part of a lot of different things. I went to, after I was sworn into office as a city council member, I went to some event, a musical performance in Station Square Park, which is not really a park. I mean, it's a cement plaza right next to the condos that were put together by Ray Casares. No, not Ray Casares. I forget Ray's last name now. It starts with a C. Anyway, the big Scientology dope. So there was a performance going on there, and Joanie was going around getting donations from people in the audience for this music festival that's very big in Clearwater. And the money goes toward music education for kids. So I donated $50 to her, and I'm a big shot is what I am. I'm the city council member. I've got to donate, and it's for a good cause. And I was just happy that she stopped to talk to me, and that money did not go to Scientology. If she had switched out the scanners and I just became a member of the IAS, I want to know that. Anyway.
How about Tori Basizian, who 30-year member of the church?
I'm mentioning Tori.
That she'd been lied to by the church.
Now listen to this guy. Do you really think men can kill?
Right, but what kind of help do you give?
They'll crucify you.
What kind of help do you give?
It's a
What kind of help do you give? What kind of help do you give?
Watching the behavior of the Church of Scientology is
Yeah,
utterly
what
fascinating.
kind of help do you give? What have you done to help?
job is to videotape.
So you basically saying you don't know? You can't answer the question. I mean, shouldn't that be a statistic? What you've done to help?
Us.
You don't need to manage by statistics.
Well, how do you know that you helped?
That's just another whack.
They'd be hauling us to jail.
No, that's all businesses across the world.
Don't forget about your eternity.
Oh, I
All
won't.
businesses across the world operate that way, Mark. That's just like ignorance.
That would be
That's
what
ignorance.
Hubbard would tell you, but management by
No, that's what.
statistics is an ancient theory.
No, that's what businesses do.
Zero. Here we got Maureen. Look, here's Maureen O'Keefe in front of
Oh
me.
boy. Oh boy, Maureen.
Bob, you're a zero.
Superstar.
You're a zero, Bob.
What have you done to help? What have you done to help, Mark? How long are you going to? I mean, how long are you going to
Silently, not talking to us.
That guy right there. Okay, that fellow you see on screen right now. He is one of the folks who was in charge of ordering the bricks that were bought. And you know they introduced him on stage when the Gaslight Alley Memorial Brick Alley was opened up. Him and a couple other big Scientologists were there in the crowd, and Joanie was there. I'm trying to put together that video again as well as that on that ceremony. I can't find the original. I just have a copy I've downloaded off the web. And the music I used on it was Bobby Farron's "Don't Worry, Be Happy." So I don't, I don't want to use that music again. And I actually created a song that's very similar. If I find the raw footage, I'm going to re-edit it. And I have a song I wrote and composed with the help of AI that I think will fit in there nicely. Anyway, here we go.
Why should I start now?
You did. Come on, Bob. Come on.
No.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget about your eternity.
Maureen, by the way, earlier in the year, this is July, in January when I was arrested in Chicago, she was there. She was at the org, and as I mentioned the other night, I believe her name is on the arrest record. She and one of the other women there at the Chicago org had filed a complaint against me. It's always fun to see where Maureen pops up.
75 million years ago, an evil galactic overlord named Xenu.
No, I'm talking about the future.
Overpopulation.
Let's get down to brass tacks. Bob, let's get down to brass tacks. What about your crimes?
He's a very 75 million years ago. Earth was
How many
grown up by evil
All right, here he goes. Oh boy, that was brilliant, buddy. Brilliant.
I don't want you to get hurt.
Down, Bobby.
I don't want you to stand in the
To
street.
a nub.
Hey, Bobby. What's next? Needle exploding.
Yes, I went to jail. It's an exciting story that I will talk about some other time. And you wish that I didn't use AI? Well, take a look at your image there. Your what do they call those? Avatar? I bet that was made with AI. And AI is going to destroy the planet, but when I use it, it's fun.
Hey, Bob, how many millions did you steal from the Nigerian government? Hi. Did you know it's
Caberta,
45
thank you.
million?
50 million blood.
Yeah, well, when she goes back there, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want any ice cream, thank you.
So what with a bunch of Nigerian stars? As long as you get 45 dollars, a straight A. Nothing? You're a criminal, Bob. Time to go to jail.
I'm starting to think you don't like me.
Hey, Bob, take a good look over there, because that's going to be 8 stories high pretty soon, buddy. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Ow! What are you going to do?
All right, I accept that.
Is that right? Well, I guess you're not doing very well. You're being pretty fucking inappropriate.
Hey, Bob.
Oh, oh, look. Oh, it's so exciting. There's Ben Shaw. I love Ben Shaw. I used to see him on the streets all the time. And in court, we'd be hauled into court in Judge Pennick's chambers. And he was always at the Scientology table with the attorneys. And I've got lots of fine footage of him from inside the courtroom. Judge Pennick, who was the judge who ruled on the injunction, he was nice enough to allow me to actually take my cameras into the courtroom and videotaped a couple of the days of testimony. Ben, still working for the church. In fact, I'm going to do a video on him in the next night or two from my time on the city council.
Well, I'm more interested in Ben Shaw right now.
You are? How come? I'm so much prettier than him.
You are. Would you go
You know? Well, you know, I got to think about that. Actually, I'm very interested in an appointment with Miss Caberta. Caberta, I said hi. I want to meet you tomorrow, and hopefully you say yes. Could you tell her that?
Tell her for lunch. I'll tell her you want to.
Well, I hope Mary didn't find out that I asked this woman out to dinner too.
I think we met at the airport. Did you remember me?
Oh, I remember
that's
her.
good.
Yeah, he's got you on
Because I
film.
remember
He
you.
tells everybody, and then he goes
But you
home
know,
at night
I'm
and he
actually
secretly watches them.
I'm actually disappointed that Miss Caberta didn't
It's
show
like
up.
that video, you know, sex. Was that movie called? The guy who watches all the videos.
Oh, they were furious about Ursula being in town. Yeah, so they're bringing her up quite a bit during this video. A lot of these folks I mentioned earlier, like her, she was at the airport to shout at Ursula when she got off the plane.
I don't care.
I think that. I think that.
As was she.
No, I don't think so.
Are you kidding?
But I want to talk about Miss Caberta because that's my personal reason why I'm out here demonstrating, you know?
Yeah.
I think she's just a total, I don't want to say this word, but
He's
I
really
think you got my
photogenic.
attention. And I don't understand why you guys hook up with
What the
her.
church tells you. Whose program are you running?
Oh, okay.
No, whose program are you running? I'd like to know that. Whose program are you running?
Lord Zenu's program. You
Oh,
know, the
are
fellow
you?
who blew you up 75 million years ago?
Gosh. Well, then you know what? Then you're really bad off, are you? That's terrible for you. You know that that's
Billions of
dangerous.
BPs on me.
You talk about Mary Damas, you leave her alone. Stop picking on her. Mrs. Mary Damas Bunker. Nice ring to it. Well, I wandered across the street to get some footage from over there, get a different view on the scene. Much thinner crowd than at the start of the event. Kind of a sneer. It's a nice sneer. '49ers for life. I'll see if I can get her contact info for you. So what was really frustrating, with all the cops out there, the chief of police at that point was blaming us for it. If we weren't there, none of this would have happened. And the city was trying very hard to keep Scientology off the front page of the paper. So we come to town, and now there's all these stories about Scientology, and City Hall wasn't happy about it. The mayor at that time was the mayor who filled in for the last year while I was on the city council. Mayor Brian J. Unks. Paris.
Well, maybe it's not drugs, maybe it's not beer. What is it then?
Yeah, it's indignation over the way your code treats people.
Look for love on the tongue.
Jerry, what's happening here?
Come on, Bobby.
Let's party, dude. We will grab a case. We'll build a fire. Everybody home. Is anybody
We surrounded by friends, Bob.
Anybody home, Bob? No, we're just... Actually, sir, I'm just annoying you. Let's go on. Then I would annoy you more. Bobby! Anybody home?
Answer the question.
Yeah.
Anybody home? Bob, is anybody home?
Well, we're calling it a night.
Bob, answer me. Is anybody home inside? I want to know. Bob, he hasn't answered the question. Get him on tape, see if he answers. Okay, tape him. No, tape him.
He's who you need to get,
Buddy,
Mike.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay you. He's paying you. Is
Look at this
anybody
guy.
home?
Look at this guy. Is anybody home there? You think anybody's home in this place?
You haven't answered the question.
They're loaded with BTs. BTs are all over them.
Anybody home?
So Police Chief Sid Klein, when I first met him, I went over to shake his hand, tell him I was a fan of the Clearwater Police.
Hey, fat boy, you're a loser!
He refused to shake my hand and said, if you get in my way, I'll arrest you. So I knew things were going to be a lot bumpier than I expected when I moved to Clearwater.
Let's all pray for Bob's soul, shall we?
A minute of silence.
Let's
Leave him alone. Let's get away from Bob's soul.
Scientology doesn't pray, do they?
Get away from Bob. Thanks, coming, Bob. Good seeing you again.
A pleasure as
Back
always.
his car up and it's not safe to stay. Man, it's back in his car. Right a tail on anybody over. Okay, we didn't know.
Where's he going now? Where's he going now?
I don't know where he's going. He's backing his car up. That's all I know.
Well, if he's going this way.
Now Antonio's got the camera there. I saw Antonio every day. He would be the one sitting with the police officers on Watterson Street, babysitting them, feeding them with lots of negative information about us.
One respected member of the community that the Presbyterian Church doesn't mind parking in their parking lot.
Come on, you know you burn the Presbyterian Church down in a second.
Yeah, we won't leave till they all show up here.
Thank you, officers. No, this is tough for you.
July in Clearwater, it was likely in the 90s. Do I know that for that night for sure? No, but I mean that's normally what it hits here. Even up to the hundreds now. Anyway, there you go. The Mad Picket in all its glory. I appreciate you coming here to watch that with me. And I'm ready for questions, ready to chat and yammer about anything that you'd like. Yeah, it really surprised me, the reaction of the city officials. Mayor Ongst, I used to appear in front of when there was a a council meeting, you could come and talk on any issue. So I would get up there and annoy him from the podium talking about Scientology. And then when he became the mayor in my last year on the council, I was his vice mayor, and I got a chance to annoy him much closer. He was a decent guy. But nobody wants Scientology in the news. And having critics marching in the street, well, they tend to think that the critics are the ones who are hurting business downtown. No, it's the presence of Scientology and the fact that the Scientologists built all the buildings, bought all the buildings, and are leaving them empty. That's the problem, not somebody pointing out the fact that that's the problem. It's crazy. Craziness. Okay. I just want to take a look here at some comments up here. I don't know what this one was about, Kristen. I will answer. If you answer this question, is your refrigerator running? Okay. I'd be curious to know what the question was. I think we've pretty much gone over everything that I had on mind. And of course, I'm always happy to answer your questions, to talk about anything else that you're interested in. We are over the 2-hour mark, and I understand if people are, ready to toddle off to bed or to their other real lives. Was this video the spark that ignited the protests of Scientology across the country? No. It was just one of the most interesting videos shot to that time. At that point, there wasn't a lot of video on the internet, and the video that I was shooting was in real video format, tiny little postage stamp size video. That quality was horrible, but people were at least able to see what was going on. But the protests that really happened all across the world was in 2008 when Anonymous took to the streets. And Anonymous, they did their own thing. It was the leak of the Tom Cruise tape, which we'll talk about at some point, because I had a hand in that. That caused Anonymous to make that initial video saying, Scientology, we're onto you, and we're coming to get you. And so that video was what really started all the mass protests around the country. Will I be uploading the Bob Minton assault video? Yeah, I can. I mean, it's just, it's crappy. I think I may have it on the site already. If you do a search for Bob Minton Boston assault, it may pop up from my channel in the old standard def version. But believe me, there's nothing to make that 4K or HD, because it was a largely video shot by the Scientologist security person. And I will dig that out, and we'll play that for you. Bob was arrested during this little incident, and the video that I have on the web is what Scientology turned over to the court for Bob's little trial. And it's interesting to see. Plus, it's filled with lots of obscenities. Jesse was there, screaming things to kind of provoke Scientologists who were trying desperately to make Bob have an incident that would lead to his arrest. So it is just a piece of history, is what it is. I can't say that it's fun to watch, but I do make it available, and I will try to pull it up and do what I can and present it with a little more background information. So thanks for pointing that out. And there was another assault where Bob did have to stand trial that in Clearwater that led to him. He was being followed all across the globe by Scientologists, and he was in Europe that day. Got home to Boston, and they were waiting at the airport for him there. Then he came down to Clearwater that night, and they were there. So he was ready to picket. So he went out by himself protesting. And one of the security camera guys that you saw in this video was on Bob and, taping in his face. Bob got a phone call and tried to walk away from this guy, but he kept following him. He turned around and with a sign, he kind of said, "Get away from me," and hit the guy in the forehead. The guy spun around and did this dramatic collapse onto the street. Like, oh my God, he's unconscious. And then a team of Scientologists came out of the building, surrounded him, and stood over him silently because, of course, you don't want to cause any bad engrams while he's unconscious. So that was all fed to the court as well. I'm not sure where that video is. I may have it somewhere. I didn't officially get it when we were at the LMT. Let's see. Questions, more questions. Question: were any Scientologists intimidated by Jesse during protests or elsewhere because of his OT powers as former deputy chief of the galaxy? No, I don't think they were happy to see him, but I don't think that they were necessarily intimidated. They probably weren't happy that Jesse was boisterous, loud, and occasionally profane. But, he always had a smile on his face. So, I'm sure they were delighted to be having an encounter with him. Just a normal tax-exempt church following Bob around the world. Right, love, Maddie? It's amazing. Amazing how Scientology behaves and continues to get away with crap to this very day. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Otherwise, I think we can bring this to a conclusion. Was Jerry's wife with him? No. I don't think I ever met Jerry Armstrong's wife. We would see Jerry from time to time in Clearwater, but I don't remember ever bumping into a wife, or even when I went up to Canada and interviewed him up there. What's the main difference between protests back then and now? In what way do they differ? Well, the big change came toward the end of 2001. This video is from 2000, and in those early years, they felt absolutely fine, acting absolutely crazy in front of my camera. And then I put that up on the web, and eventually the message kind of got through to folks in OSA that maybe this isn't working out the way we thought it would. Because the real world, seeing the Scientologists behaving the way that you see in this video and others, did not have a very positive glow for Scientology from that. So they stopped talking in front of my camera, and now it seems like they've stopped talking in front of pretty much any camera. And with a number of people who are out on the street now with cameras, even just cameras on your phone, which are far better quality than the big expensive camera that I was carrying around every day in Clearwater. That's there's just no escaping. So I think Scientology has decided it's best to just go inside, lock the doors, pull the curtains, and pretend that everything's right in the world. What do I mean by the real world, Mark? Well, witness, I mean the WOG world. That's what I'm referring to, the WOG world, if you must know. A part of the world that I'm most comfortable in. I don't know about you. I enjoy being a WOG. And here on TGAC, I think the best folks are the WOGs. We know how to get things done. Auditing Scientology, KC, the Scientologists do interact when I show up while they're recruiting, but nothing approaching what happened in the video you showed. Yeah. I think they learned a lesson over time that they're not going to come out ahead. Time to hide in your delusion, Miscavage. LRH is gonna be pissed. Another witness. Hello, Mark. I'm new here, and I want to ask, what do you think David's psychology is? Miscavage? I know you aren't an expert. Well, that's for sure. Much love, and may God bless you. Thank you. Another witness. Slappy is, this power mad, crazy little ill-tempered misfit who's trying to keep the show going while surrounded by nothing but incompetence, which would seem to be a really difficult situation for a guy who's in charge of the single organization that can take a being from Homo novus, or Homo sapien rather, to Homo novus, and teaches you exactly how to live and have control over matter, energy, space, and time. And yet every one of his top officials alongside of him, everyone working under him, are nitwits that he can't abide, that he has to have other nitwits hold by the arm so he can come up and slap them. That's the type of psychopath that Slappy is. Of course, I'm no expert. I'm just asking questions. Thank you, another witness. But Mark, everyone being the exact same seems so boring. Wow. Thanks. Yeah, it's much more boring than shouting, what are your crimes? And, but thank God they're out there creating scenes like this that does bring attention to all the nasty stuff that they have done over the decades and what they've been allowed to continue to do with their tax exemption, making the organization filthy rich. Love Maddie, they really are good at safe pointing police, local government, businesses, etc., because they have the money and the followers assigned to do this. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not like most of those folks, police, government, businesses, not that they're, buying into what Scientology is selling, but it certainly is easier not to rock the boat. And if they're going to sell you something with money attached, take it. I'm sure Jeff says, I'm sure Mary's embarrassed that videos of her harassing people have been online for over 20 years. She is. And the one time that I had an exchange with her through email, she did tell me that she had no idea that these would be seen by anybody anywhere, let alone all around the world, and haunt her the way they did. And she, I asked her if she wanted to, talk, do I always thought, the best thing for her to do was just to come on camera and say, I'm out. Even if those are the only two words that you say, people would cheer and they'd be so happy. But apparently she felt she was abused by both Scientology and the critics and just wanted nothing more to do with any of it. Oh, haunt. That's a good description, Mark. Thank you. Every once in a while, I have something to say. That's how I've become a national treasure. Love Maddie, they paid a big chunk for a new or remodeled police gym for the North Hollywood Police, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they do that. And granted, I mean, it's good that, some good comes from their money. But the whole point is to save point. And I saw that firsthand in my first debate, in my first campaign. We had a series of debates in different places, and there was one in North Greenwood at the Martin Luther King Jr. It's not a stage or auditorium or anything like that, but they have just a center, Martin Luther King Jr. Center for the neighborhood. And of course, I made Scientology a part of my campaign pitch at every event, but there, the safe pointing had really stuck. And they shouted down any mention of Scientology. And the moderator refused to allow any discussion of Scientology at all. So it was not my crowd. But I did, once getting elected, I did concentrate on doing everything I could for their neighborhood. And I made a lot of friends there who are active members of the neighborhood. They have their own group that decided, here's what we're going to do. We want a CRA for our neighborhood. That's a community redevelopment agency or act. Once it's a CRA site, then the restrictions on developing get loosened enormously. So you can try to revitalize that neighborhood, which is something I fully supported. And I worked with them on other issues as well. So by the time my second election rolled around, I knew in the debate not to say the Scientology word, but I did talk about an organization downtown that they understood what they were talking about. But Scientology had paid for a new roof on the Martin Luther King Center. And that goes a long way. The place is in horrible shape. Scientology donated time and efforts to fix that up. And I'm happy that they did. Again, the most important thing for Scientology is, did we get good press? Did we get, do we have the neighborhood on our side? Because if anyone wants to run for office and attack us, we want them to boo. So I see how effective that is, but still, I have to say, I'm glad they had a roof over the building. So it's tricky. One more question from another witness. What's the best way to go about dealing with people inside the church? The most productive way to reach them, if any? Allah bless you. I don't know that there's any way to really deal with anyone inside the church. Here in Clearwater, of course, I do not have access. Even when I was on the council, I was not in any of the meetings with any of the Scientologists dealing with the city. So they wouldn't let me through the door or have any comments. I'd have to talk to them through council meetings. As far as most people trying to deal with Scientology in the church, I think you have to be willing to just do what Scientology wants you to do to actually be on their good side. Like with our problem downtown with Scientology owning all the buildings and just leaving them empty. We can come to Scientology and say, hey, we want this being done in these buildings. And they'll say no. But if they come up with a plan, like Miscavage had a plan to completely take over the downtown and put new facades on all the buildings and bring in businesses to fill all the empty buildings. That was back in 2017. All they wanted in exchange was the plot of land on the bluffs where the aquarium was going to move before Scientology destroyed that move. They said we'll bring the downtown to life if you let us have that piece of property, and the city said no. We don't. It's not going to be effective for Scientology to own the downtown. People are not going to come downtown because, oh, look at what Scientology. It's Scientology's downtown. So they didn't get what they want, and then Miscavage said, "All right, we're not going to just put facades on buildings. We're going to buy them all up and let them sit there and rot." There are 3 buildings that they're fixing up right now, getting close to at least one of them being finished. It'd be interesting to see what they put in it afterwards. One of our assistant city managers, we would talk from time to time about this. He wanted to have Miscavage move all the front groups like the Way to Happiness and the CCHR and all of these front groups to the second floor of the buildings on Fort Harrison Avenue and allow businesses on the bottom floor. No, Miscavige is not going to do that. Miscavige doesn't care if there are businesses there. The whole point is you got a whole block or two worth of Scientology front group showing all the massive, wonderful work they do in the world to defeat psychiatry and reform criminals and distribute Way to Happiness booklets. That's all for the visiting wealthy Scientologists who come to town and go, wow, look at what we're doing. This is what our money is funding. And yes, I will write you another healthy, hefty check. So there's this, there's this feeling in the city hall that, yeah, maybe we can do something with them. Yeah, you can do what Miscavige wants you to do is what you can do. Anyway, I hope that answers the question. So Scientology crimes, with all your experience, what tips of trade would you give us new fighters in the fight? I tell you what I think has worked for me, and this is me. Try to be decent. I don't think it helps anything to get in anybody's face. When they're shouting at me or when they're saying horrible things to me, I never send it back at them. Well, sure, I may talk about Xenu and ask a few pointed questions, but by and large, you're not going to get through to anybody by really being a jerk. I see people, and that's one of the things I said to Anonymous when they were making this video originally in 2008. And it was a scary video, and I saw on the web some of the things they were planning, like let's go to the org and we'll put sugar in their gas tanks. And I just made a video saying, no, don't do that. Don't do anything illegal. Scientology is serious. They're going to hunt you down. They're going to make you pay for it. They take a cherubic, lovely guy like me and try to paint me as a dangerous villain. So if you're out there wearing a Guy Fawkes mask, it's easy for them to get the police turned against you. And Anonymous, kind of listened to that and said, you're right. And I suggested they go by Jeff's rules of picketing, Gandhi Tech. If anyone's going to be a jerk, like in this video tonight, let the Scientologists be jerks on camera. Now, granted, you're not going to make any immediate friends inside Scientology, but that type of thing can put a seed in there so that, when they're ready to leave, something may be jogged. Like Marty Rathbun, when he was out of Scientology, before he went back into Scientology, he said that the signs that Bob would hold up during protesting Clearwater, he had some specific signs that said, it's safe to look, it's safe to talk. And they had our phone number on it for the Lisa McPherson Trust. So if anybody wanted to come and make a phone call on a line that wasn't being listened to, monitored, or recorded by Scientology, they could come and do that. And he said, that message stuck with me. It's safe to look. It's safe to talk. And I think Jenna Miscavage Hill also mentioned that in her book, that was a more positive message that kind of sinks through. So that's my advice. I say, do what Jeff does. Be a decent human being. I try as much as possible. Good Lord, I know I fail, but that's my tip. If you're being a jerk, and there are people who were jerks during the time when I was out there videotaping things, and it wasn't much fun to be around them. There was one guy, I can't think of his name right now, a non-orange, I think it was. He came to one protest one day in what looked like a bondage S&M type of outfit with a thong on that showed his rumpled ass. And, why? I tried to stay away. But then there was a car that pulled over when he was near me, and it was a convertible. And there was a couple that stopped and were asking questions. And there's a little girl in the back seat. And he's talking about his junk and saying, don't you be looking at that little girl? Oh, God. Oh, God. All I could do was, just go across the street and try to avoid him. If you're that much of an idiot, there's no advice I can give you. And good Lord, I tried before that. But there are some people you just wash your hands of. Still haunts me, though. Don't you be looking at that little girl? Boy. So that's my advice. How old are you? Forgive me for asking, Mark. How dare you? How dare you ask something like that you can easily look up online? I'm 68. What are you doing now besides the YouTube channel? Are you retired? Well, I am retired. That's true. I am still looking for gainful employment, though, to tide me over, because employment, Social Security does not get you far. And I'm trying to build this channel. I'm trying to master this whole live streaming thing. I hope that I bring some worth to the internet and continue to do so. So if you sign up for a membership for my channel, that helps. That'll help me stay alive and keep doing all of this stuff. If anyone wants to make a donation, I think Kelly had put some links in there earlier, to like PayPal and Venmo, things like that. So if you want to help that way, that helps me keep the lights on, keep the services working for me. We're doing all of this video generation and audio and music, all that kind of stuff. It'd be nice to get some new equipment to continue doing some of this as well. So bills to pay. So if you want to chip in, that's a great way to help out. Let's see. For witness, is legal money getting hard to come by, Miscavage? Well, it seems like they have enough whales that they've got all the money that they need. And witness agrees with me that breaking the law is not helpful, ever, really. Thank you. Yep, and this is good advice too. Let me pull this one up. Please remember, Scientologists are taught to lie at day one. Yep. TRL, training routine lie. It's something that very important to understand. It's something that I tried to press home at City Hall as well. That they are trained in how to do this and trained how to bull bait too, as a matter of fact. Do I ever feel like I was a bit too nice? I feel that way now. Get out of my channel. No, I don't know. No, it's just in my nature. I don't have, I've got a temper. Oh, I can be upset with things, but I try not to be upset with people. I try not to let it get to me, but oh man, there's some dark clouds from time to time, but usually I try to be a decent person, and that goes, when you're dealing with a dangerous cult. I think it's probably a good idea to set some sort of decent example of what life is like outside Scientology. So you're not just encountering all the screaming, angry people who Scientology tells you fill up the WOG world. Oh, it's pure insanity out there, wars and the real world, the WOG world, is something to avoid. WOGs aren't bad. WOGs made Doctor Who, for instance. WOGs are decent people. And some are jerks. Okay, a lot of them are jerks, but, for the most part, human beings are largely decent if you give them a chance. Oh. By the way, thank you, Mark from Love Maddie, for doing all that you've done and are doing to try to let people know about the real goings-on within the Church of Scientology. You're welcome. I've done my part. I'll be shuffling off this mortal coil at some point. I'll at least leave a video trail of maybe a good way forward. Oh, there you go, Stephanie. Kelly, rather. Thank you, Kelly, for posting those. Any contribution you make, welcome. And again, for anybody who's just joining us now, if you're a member of my YouTube channel, if you put in a request to have David Miscavage, like somebody the other day said, I would like to see David Miscavage as a teapot. So by the end of that night, I had a video of David, as a teapot. So if you'd like to, as a member, if you want to make a request, I'll be happy to try to create something for you with that awful AI that at least one person here is not happy about. I would love to chat and pick my brains. Oh, my delicious brains. I try not to let people too close to my brains. Oh, Kelly's got my email up there, markbunker@gmail.com. I got in the ground floor of Gmail right away so that I got my own name. Everybody else has to be Mark Bunker 1 or 2, or, the sky's the limit. I do have another Mark Bunker with a number in it. For some reason, I continue to get sales receipts for things that this person purchased. Or I'll get a notice from Amazon.com. This is arriving. And then I'll frantically look and see, are they using my check? What's going on here? And no, it's just another Mark Bunker who somehow in the paperwork, the email came out as markbunker.com. So I tracked down this person who lives in a very, very tiny, probably unincorporated city, and say, hey, I'm Mark Bunker, and I'm getting all your stuff. So I'm forwarding these to you. And I think he got fed up with me. So I'm not getting as many of those as I used to. So perhaps he's catching on. Doctor Who, I don't know the reason Doctor Who was brought up just now, but always I'll give thumbs up to Doctor Who. Witness, did you know it's a high crime to deviate from LRH's policy of always attack? Seems like an easy win to me. I can't think of any charitable things that Miscavage does. Well, when L. Ron Hubbard's policy of always attack is shown to be nonsense in videos like this, I think they do have to recalibrate, and maybe not do it on camera, but find some other ways to attack you online or wherever, or go to your job and try to get you fired, all that kind of stuff that we've caught them doing over the years. Was I totally obsessed with L. Ron Hubbard footage when I started the COS research? I wouldn't say totally obsessed. There's only so much Hubbard I can take. I certainly never tire of seeing the shrinking world of L. Ron Hubbard, which, by the way, we should play that at some point. I did have some email exchanges with the actual journalist who made that documentary back in the 60s. And he gave me a little bit of information about how he just came to the ship where it was, I forget where it was docked, but he came there with camera, and I think there was maybe a camera person with him or not. I don't know that. I don't remember for sure, but it was midnight, and he showed up the ship and kind of, walked onto the ship and introduced himself and asked Hubbard for an interview. And Hubbard said, why, yes, I'd be happy to. And that's when this video was made. And while he's interviewing Hubbard, this lone journalist is surrounded by all the Sea Org members who are watching this whole interview. And it takes an ugly turn, as you remember. At the end, he asks, do you ever think you might be mad? And that's when Hubbard says the wonderful, oh, yes, the one man in the world who doesn't know he's mad is the madman. So the interview ends, and he's panicked that he's not going to be able to get out of there safely with this mob of people who are angry about this now. But he did. He was fine. But I love that whole thought. Scientology Crimes says, may I please promote the new channel of Scientology Crimes? By all means. What's the channel? Is it called Scientology Crimes, rather? Let me know. We'll put up a link to it. Oh, there we go. Kelly's got it. YouTube.com/Scientology Crimes. I will check it out. And so should you, viewing audience. There you go. Parasocial audience thought that was made by a secret Scientologist journalist? No. That was a real guy who did the earlier one as well. The one in St. Hill, it's another like 20-minute documentary that's screened on British TV. And it's interesting. It's it doesn't have Hubbard though, and Shrinking World is unique in that. And he was nice enough to send me masters on CD from the production company of both of those shows. And there was something else that had run through my tiny little tired brain, and I forgot what it was now. But those certainly amazing videos. And one of them, at least, was shown at the New Beverly. No, not the New Beverly Cinema. There was a silent movie theater in L.A. I used to go there all the time because they'd have an evening of Laurel and Hardy or Buster Keaton or Douglas Fairbanks, not Captain Butt, Robin Hood maybe or whatever, and they'd have a live organist there. Somebody who way up in age, who did this during the silent movie era, and he would continue to do it at this theater. And the guy who was running it for a long time was murdered in that theater during a showing of Sunrise, Academy Award-winning silent movie. And it was Gay Lover of the Guy, as I remember. It's this old creepy guy who looked, I don't know if you've ever seen Phantasm, but like the old guy in that was kind of like what this guy looked like. And when the murder happened, it became quite a big story in LA. But I used to see him all the time when I go to the theater. And then some other guy bought it from him, or bought it from whoever had it after him, and tried to revive it. And he did some other things like having musical performances there. I would go and see a singer that I love who sings old, largely forgotten songs. Janet Klein is her name. She had made regular appearances there. And then there was one night all devoted to Scientology in the media. So I was able to put together a little video about Battlefield Earth. And the screenwriter of Battlefield Earth was there that night. And he actually sat down and did an interview for me that I've never shown anywhere. Got to dig that up. I had forgotten all about that. But he, I went to his home and we talked about that, and he had some fascinating stories. I'll make that a high priority. So I've heard enough from Hubbard. I don't want to go out of my way to continue watching more of his nonsense. I cleaned up the sound for this one video that was leaked by a South American group, I guess, like a free zone type of group. The 1963 thing that Hubbard did called An Afternoon at St. Hill, something like that, where he comes out and he's standing in the courtyard by a water fountain that drowns him out largely. I did clean up all the audio from that. I do have a video of that that's easier to listen to that I haven't put up yet. At any rate, let's see. Anything else? I don't want to run off if you've got questions. Not for long. I guess this is something that 49ers for Life was asking. You were a Scientologist. Love, Maddie. And She said, not for long. A boyfriend who said he was out, who was out of it, lied, love bombed me, and got me in. Because I wasn't going to continue in, the jerk said I lied to him, projecting. I said, no, you lied to me. It was rough. Yeah. Scientologists lying to get you into Scientology. Thank you, Scientology Crimes. I appreciate that. Go ahead and make your request, what you would like to see created with AI. And I will do something for your channel. Danny popping up at 12:49. We're 2 hours and 49 minutes into this, now seconds away from 2 hours and 50 minutes. And welcome, Danny. And it's time to say goodnight. I enjoy spending the time with you here. It's kind of fun. I'm starting to get the hang of this. And, I greatly appreciate all your support. And it's terrific. And I love the fact that that Tori and I can do things together. And I'm going to see if Jeff will do one with me. Kelly, I want to say I appreciate everything that you do for me as a mod. You're doing a great job, and you've helped me enormously. So thank you, everybody. And I tell you what, I'm going to be here tomorrow night with something. Maybe I'll dig out one of those things that we talked about tonight if I have time to put that together. Otherwise, I've got other things prepared for this week. But I want to remember the things you mentioned tonight, because those are good. The Battlefield Earth writer and the other crap that I talked about. I'll have to go back and look at the tape again to see what else I'm going to bring up. But good night to everybody. And I'm going to leave you with a little bit of my theme song and something for you to hum as you continue the rest of your night. Bye.
What are your crimes, Mark? Yes, what are your crimes, Mark? Your crimes are hidden, they should be seen. Spin all out, Mark, and just come clean.